Is Michigan becoming an important battleground over identity, Islam, and the direction of American politics? Dearborn in Michigan is a city with a majority Arab American population. A white nationalist rally targeted that city this week, led by a divisive far-right activist pushing anti-Muslim rhetoric. The protest resulted in 22 arrests as anti-Muslim activists clashed with counter-protesters outside a city council meeting, bringing the tensions around the state of religion, identity, and politics in modern U.S. society into the heart of the city. The man behind the anti-Muslim protests is far-right white nationalist Jake Lang. Inside City Hall, Lang used his so-called Christian Crusader March as a platform to spread divisive anti-Muslim rhetoric.
This is an invasion on all fronts. Our people are being pushed out of the workplace. We're being pushed out of city councils. That smug face of the Taqiyya Muslims needs to be wiped off these people's faces. These people are looking to destroy us.
This is not the first time that Arab-majority Dearborn has been the target of anti-Muslim marches. The city lies in Michigan, a state that served as a pillar for Trump's return to the White House in 2024. And 2 weeks ago, the Muslim politician Dr. Abdul El-Sayed narrowly beat Haley Stevens in the Democratic Senate primary after a race in which he represented the progressive wing of the party and Stevens the party establishment. Now, the arrival of hundreds of far-right protesters carrying neo-Nazi and other white nationalist symbols has taken a toll on residents, as described by the city's mayor.
Practices for youth football has been canceled. My daughter was not taken to daycare today. Some parents kept their children at home, wanted them a little closer. Some residents decided not to open up their business stores today because of the events unfolding. And I understand that instinct. But we cannot surrender our everyday lives to someone else's hatred.
Let's now speak to Dawud Walid, Executive Director of CAIR-Michigan. CAIR, or the Council on American-Islamic Relations, is one of the largest Muslim civil rights and advocacy organizations in the United States. Dawud, great to have you with us. As a representative of the Muslim community, how does this protest that we just saw make you feel?
Well, unfortunately, in southeastern Michigan, we have a long history of anti-Muslim provocateurs and agitators coming into our community. Probably the most famous of those was during the Obama administration, where Pastor Terry Jones received international media attention for coming to Dearborn to burn the Quran. So we are, unfortunately, we're used to this. Westboro Baptist Church around the same time as Pastor Terry Jones. So unfortunately, Dearborn has been a target for many, many years.
And why does Dearborn get targeted?
Where Dearborn gets targeted because in the United States of America, it's one of the two Muslim majority cities. And both of those cities happen to reside in southeastern Michigan. And then of the Muslim community of those two, the vast majority of the Muslims in Dearborn are Arab American. The largest percentage of them are immigrants from Lebanon, their children and their grandchildren.
Just 2 weeks before these protests, Abdul El-Sayed, a Muslim American and the son of Egyptian immigrants, won a Democratic primary in Michigan. Dawud, do you see any connection between his political rise and the timing of this demonstration?
Not necessarily, because Jake Lang has come to Michigan several times before and raised a ruckus before Mr. Sayed even announced that he was running, much less when the Democrat nomination for Senate. It's just maybe another piece of another rock that he can throw at the community by mentioning the election. But he's been here several times before and prior to Sayed winning the primary.
But it's really important to mention here that Muslim and Arab American political influence appears to be growing across the United States. Over the past decade, a record number of Muslim Americans have run for and won elected offices. There are more than 230 elected Muslim officials nationwide, including 4 Muslim members of Congress. US politics is seeing popular and prominent people like Zohran Mamdani, the mayor of New York City, and Dr. El Sayed. Dawud, in your view, what do these growing numbers of Muslim elected officials tell us about US politics?
Well, it depends on the locality. You know, America is a very large country, it's very diverse. And in certain areas in which there are more progressive politics, and we've seen Muslims make more strides in elected office. However, if we go to other places such as Texas, for instance, or Arizona, then that's simply not the case. But the state of Michigan, I believe, has the highest amount of elected officials per capita, and that's because we have a very long-standing, deep-rooted community where Muslims first appeared here in Michigan in the latter part of the 19th century. So we have over 100 years of Muslims residing in this locality and being a part of the fabric of this society.
Let's bring up a social media post from President Donald Trump. The post shows Trump and First Lady Melania Trump alongside Abdul El Sayed and his wife, who wears a hijab. The caption reads, "Two very different Americas." Dawud, how do you interpret that message?
Well, obviously, Mr. Trump is playing towards those individuals who have white fragility and the whole great replacement theory, where people believe that white folks and white Christians in particular are losing what they consider to be their countries if they have sole property of the United States of America. So it's playing into those old fears and tropes. This is nothing new in American politics. Such framework has been used before against Japanese Americans, Chinese Americans, Latino Americans, and of course African Americans in general have been historically the major whipping board for people who like to promote identity politics relating to white nationalism.
So is this sentiment only shown by politicians, or do you feel there is a growing anti-Muslim sentiment in the entire US right now?
Well, there's been, according to the Council on American-Islamic Relations, the last 3 years have seen a record amount of civil rights intake cases, ranging from workplace discrimination, harassment by federal governmental authorities, to hate crimes against Muslims. Of course, the most notable of them taking place just a couple of months ago in San Diego, where 3 individuals were murdered at a mosque in Southern California. One of those individuals I actually had met on more than one occasion. So that's, you know, it's a sign that anti-Muslim bigotry and animus has grown in the United States of America in recent years.
And Dawud, I would like to know that, do you think that it's not only the far right, but also more mainstream political figures attacking the faith of Muslim politicians?
Well, those individuals, they've been more, we can say, overt in their Islamophobia that have been on the right. It's always existed on the left, and but it's somewhat more subtle. But we've seen it in races in which there are people who are Democrats who've tried to frame American Muslims as having some sort of dual loyalty. And also one of the major smears is that trying to smear Muslims as being anti-Semitic, because obviously many Muslims who run for political office bring into question the history of illegal occupation and war crimes perpetrated by the Israeli occupational forces against Palestinians in particular.
Okay, just because we don't have anybody from Israel here, Israel obviously deny these accusations. But Dawud, I would like to know that as a part of the community in Michigan, tell us about how you see daily life there. Do you see tension in general there?
Well, the day-to-day life in our community for the people who actually live here is actually not that bad. If you were to be in Dearborn or Dearborn Heights, there's neighborly cooperation. Imams and priests get along just well. We have a great relationship with the Archdiocese of the Catholic Church and other denominations, Lutheran Church as well. So there's general harmony. What our main problem is in southeastern Michigan is that we have not only outside agitators that come and protest, but there are also people who are outside the state who contact mosques, who contact Islamic organizations like CAIR-Michigan and make death threats. As a matter of fact, within the past year and a half, actually, there's 2 people that have been convicted for making threats against myself. So we have a problem, and there are issues of discrimination here locally, but more so we're dealing with issues of outside people coming into our community who don't live next door to us as neighbors. We really don't have much problems with our neighbors.
Finally, Mr. Dawud, in your view, as Muslim Americans become more visible in public life and politics, what do you think can community leaders do to bring people of different faiths and backgrounds together and basically try to help resolve differences in a more constructive way?
Well, unfortunately, in the United States of America, we have a very bombastic president who uses a lot of caustic language. However, we do have a multi-faith cooperation and people who deal with people of different religions and different ethnicities in our community here. For instance, my organization, we partner and do things with varying groups, secular and otherwise, like Detroit Jews for Justice, for instance, right? So we work on general social justice issues, and we're in communication with different people, different generations, different ethnic groups, racial groups, and religious orientation. So that's the good news, that we hope that these efforts can continue and that, you know, our cooperation can drown out the hateful messages that unfortunately come from some of America's most influential political and business leaders.
Mr. Dawud, Walid, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And what do you think? What more can be done to create more harmony among communities? Let me know in the comments. I'm Binish Javed. See you next time.